looking at playing some true freshmen there? What have you seen out of the
Well, I think right now at all positions we got a long way to go. Fortunately we have fall camp, and I think the kids had a good summer in what they did in the weight room and some of the individual drills that they did. But we got a long way to be a good defensive football team, and that starts up front.
What have you seen with Scheidt's huddle so far this camp?
Well, the one gratifying thing is he does a little more every day. And, where that puts him, I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor or a trainer, but I'm happy with how he's jumped in and really pushed himself.
What sort of role do you guys kind of envision for Matthew Butler? I know he's repping in both tackle and in, early in fall camp right now.
Yeah, right now I think we're just trying to see where he'll fit best. I would like to roll 10 guys through a football game up front, and we'll see where it all shakes out as we get closer to the end of fall ball. But him and Kevon Bennett both have done a nice job so far. But again, we got a long way to go.
You almost feel you have to get some of these freshmen in get in gear fast, just because behind Kyle Phillips, Taylor, and Conway, you're going to need some of them.
Well, I think you will. I mean, I think that's part of it. It's you play a long schedule, and the one thing with freshmen, you got to bring them along a little slow, but at the same time, we've got to put as much pressure on them as we can.
Coach Jones has talked about how you guys have to keep the Georgia Tech prep separate from what you guys are going to do the rest of the season. How difficult is that going to be, you think, for those guys?
I think the way we've set up the schedule, and what we did in the spring, there's some retention, some of the things the kids worked on over the summer, so that helps. But we're going to go 2 days in a row on Georgia Tech only, and that will help us just because the style of play is different from an offensive standpoint. And what we've got in these first, I think, 6 or 7 days. You guys know how many days? 7. Okay, it all runs together. Okay, but I think we've made some progress. It'll be good Monday to really prep in meetings for it, and then Tuesday really work the techniques and fundamentals.
How is Kyle Phillips coming off the missing this spring?
Well, yeah, I can tell you it's great to have him out there. I mean, it's great to have him out there healthy. He has done a really good job. He's got good leadership. He loves to play the game. He's got good effort. I think he'll be sore a little bit, but that's part of it. They're going to be sore for the rest of their lives if you play college football long enough. So, but he's been impressive.
What about him makes his leadership stand out? What is it about him that kind of brings?
Well, his effort. When you watch, you watch film, and you see the backside end sprinting down the field to cut off the ball carrier. I mean, that's Kyle Phillips, and that's something that you try and show to all the young guys. So they create that habit also.
Congo kind of talked about his maturity and growth. What have you even seen from him just in the short time you've been here this summer?
I think he really this summer he was on a mission. I mean, he was on a mission to become more of a complete football player. His weight's up to about 273, 275. He's handling that well. He just has matured. I wasn't here a year ago, but he has told me that he was kind of an angry guy a lot of the times and didn't really, like playing inside and all that. And, he's come to me and said, Coach, I'll play anywhere you want me to play.
Is that something you guys are considering, one of those rabbits package, to kind of get him, Phillips, and Taylor all on the field together, possibly, if the situation presents
You always
itself?
want to put playmakers on the field. And however you can do that, that's what we'll do.
Coach, what does it take for a freshman at this level to be able to play defensive line? The physicality of it. What does it take for a newcomer freshman to be able to help?
Well, I think number one, they've got to realize, because any position for a freshman, but defensive line is a little easier than being an offensive line, right? Because we go left, right, straight ahead, right? But there also is a physicalness on a daily basis that they have to be able to play with. This is new for these guys, and even though they were here in the summer, it became newer when we put pads on. And so just bringing them along the best we can. Most freshmen during the course of a season hit a brick wall, because the academics and all those things and responsibilities and the way you practice. But, I think there's a couple guys who may be able to, and I'm not talking about, 30 snaps. I'm talking about 15 snaps to keep somebody healthy or keep fresh people on the field.
How's Alexis Johnson continuing to progress this spring?
I think he's had a very good fall camp so far. Overall, I think probably Taylor and Vickers have really shown the most so far in fall camp, but I think Alexis is coming along. He is more engaged in the defense, if that makes sense. I mean, I can just feel him a little bit more, and that's one thing you've got to feel the guys up front.
Any thoughts on Eric Crosby yet, Coach? I know he's a big guy trying to lose it.
No, I think he's going to be fine. I can't tell you when he's going to be fine, but Eric's done a nice job, and Eric, probably is a little overweight right now. So am I, but the one thing that he's done is he's continued to push through. When he gets a little tired, and I think he's done a nice job that way. And he's a better athlete than you would think as you look at him.
Brady, I know that you've been here for not very long, but I'm sure you went back and watched film of some of the guys on the roster, what they did earlier in their careers, kind of what you were getting when you got here. How much have you seen Vickers improve? He just looks like a different guy from a couple years ago.
I think number one, he's a senior. And with being a senior and a guy who has a lot of pride in his performance, I think he has really pushed himself. The one thing that we talked about, his improvement had to come in extension on contact. He'll get into a guy, but he's got to be able to lock it out in the extension part. That's going to help him be more productive. He's a physical guy, and I think his leadership has been outstanding.
How has he kind of shown that leadership? What is it? Any examples of what he's done?
Well, when someone's not paying attention, he'll get their attention. Someone's not early to a meeting, he'll get their attention. His mental football on the field, his communication, and then mostly by example.
But also, he's been kind of vocal as well.
Yep, he's done a really, really good job.
So Daryl Taylor stood out. What's he done so well?
Daryl's come out and played hard every day. I mean, that's what he's done, and it always hasn't been perfect. But if you're playing hard enough, sometimes you make up for not being perfect. And Daryl understands that piece of it. And I would say the same thing with him. He's shown good leadership by example, and then the vocal part also.
Last question, guys. How do you like working with Coach Shub now that you've been here for a little bit longer?
Terrible. No, now somebody will take just that one. No, it's great. We got a great defensive staff. Thig and Charlton and Bob. I mean, those guys are all good football coaches. They all have coached a lot of years, a lot of football. So it's been great.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.